Really not surprised at how the game played out. This is how Harvard URI games are now. Seems like every game. And battles. Harvard's a great team, well coached. They have great players. And really proud of our perseverance today. Had a 14-point lead at one point. Really defensively had some serious lapses, and ended the game on a defensive stop with a defensive rebound. And then conversely, to win the game, really proud of our execution. I thought Sophie P should have shot the first one, but I've seen her do it at St. Joe's. I've seen her do it a lot of times where she pump fakes and then gets it up, and just really good execution on that last play to seal the win. Now, one thing we do have to do better job at definitely is foul shooting at the end of games. We could have closed that game out on the foul line, and we didn't. But other than that, again, momentum. Wasn't happy with yesterday's practice, happy with the shoot around today, happy the day after Christmas. I thought we had a great practice, but then it worried me a little bit. We kind of started that roller coaster a little bit, and I got in them a little bit, and they bounced back. So again, really, really just overall very, very pleased with our execution.
Okay, open it up to questions.
Coach, you mentioned that.
Sorry.
Scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Come on. You mentioned at the end of the last game that you were going to know how your players were going to play at the end of, or the first practice back from Christmas break. Is that the case?
They played like they practiced that first practice. Thank God they didn't play like they practiced the second practice. It was like a tale of two teams, and you can ask Mayé. I got in them because I had to, and we can't have that inconsistency. We weren't disciplined. We didn't do the little things. It was like watching, literally, a different team. And after Christmas, I thought we had a great practice, especially coming off 5 days off. So tonight, Mayé was confident tonight. Mayé said, I'm coming tonight. And she said that to me before the game. I'm ready. I'm going to play tonight. And so once we started the first quarter, I felt comfortable because we had effort. The kids were diving on the ground. They were communicating. They were doing all the little things to win a basketball game. And I was very comfortable with that from jump.
Coach, the way the fourth quarter was going down the stretch, it seemed very similar to how it looked in March. When they tied the game up, what are you telling your team in the huddle to make sure that you change history?
Next play. Sometimes my staff has to remind me, to give up a 3, to go up 1, that's your worst nightmare. That's what you're telling your kids not to give up. No fouls, no 3s, let them tie it. But, next mentality, be a goldfish. We're going to execute. We're going to get a good shot. And we rep that play we ran. God, we've run it for 3 years now, and we wanted, Sophie P to get that shot, and they executed it. And again, I thought she was wide open to start, but the length of Bello, number 22, Soph got scared because she's so long that when she pump fake, it cleared her a little bit, and she got a good look. But it was just next play mentality. We're going to execute. And then we're going to go to the boards on the miss and get the offensive rebound. So, I was pretty confident in them coming out and getting a good shot.
Speaking of next play mentality, a couple times tonight you get whistled for an offensive foul, but really you didn't shy away from that. You kind of went right back to your spots, and you just continue to be a threat inside the paint. A lot of players kind of get nervous and won't go back to that spot. What's your mindset to be able to be under control and be effective after picking up a couple of tough calls?
I think I do gotta be smarter with offensive fouls, but I still can't stop being aggressive because that's what the team needs, and that's my role, my job. So no matter the number of offensive fouls I'm gonna get called, I'm gonna try to focus and not get any more, but still be aggressive.
Mayé, you told Coach that you were coming tonight. What made you so confident today that you're gonna have a good game?
I watched a lot of film, and I stayed after practice, worked with Coach A on the things I was struggling with, so I was very confident. And I know that was an issue more in my head than skills, so I just had to get better in my head.
Coach said she was tough on you guys. Just to bounce back from that and to be able to put together a good performance tonight, what does it say about you and your teammates?
It feels good. I think we're starting to come together and look like a real team that have their chemistry built, and we're still working on it, but I think we're on the right direction.
Coach, that Sophie shot with her fourth quarter. She was kind of held in check that whole game, but that fourth quarter she exploded and you needed it. What does that say about her?
You know, shoot, and she could miss 10 threes, and we need a 3 on diagram in the play, and she's going to get a shot. I mean, that, again, next play mentality, but that's what she brings to our team. She scores, she shoots, she spreads the floor for us, and she knows how confident we are in her. And so, you know, that's my message to her. Don't worry, the next one's going in, and that's her mentality.
Coach, not only did it look like, you know, you guys were playing really fundamental basketball, but it seemed like there was a different energy of swagger tonight. Everybody was out there playing with some extra pep in their step. You know, does that speak to these practices that you've had?
I think, like Mayé said, you know, this game is really mental. And after the main game, and I'll say it, the confidence got shook a little bit in their shooting. Took the swagger away. Once you get in your head, then you have another bad shooting game. It plays with you, and you don't have that same, like, I can hoop. And we're trying to work out chemistry, people's roles. Then they're not confident. They're not doing what they can do because they don't think they can. So it was like, you know, it looked like mush. It wasn't coming together. And, you know, as a coach sometimes, I got to be, you know, patient. And it was getting their confidence back, getting back to the basic things, reiterating how good of players they are, why we brought them here, what they can do, what the roles are every day. Now, the energy and the effort and the compete, that is the price of admission. That's who we are regardless. And we haven't been playing that way because they were tentative. But you're exactly right. When they come out and they're aggressive and they got swagger and they got energy, that's the team that can play with NC State, beats Princeton, beats Harvard. It's not the team that loses to Quinnipiac up 7 in the fourth quarter. You know, it loses by 1 to Prague, No. That's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And that's what can happen when you're in your head. And a lot of them were in their head. Like, am I good? Maybe I don't fit. I don't think I can do what you need me to do. And we had to turn it. We had to get a little momentum. And they did that. And suddenly the ball starts rolling, and that's what you see. It's momentum. And it can drop. You're never too high, you're never too good, and you're never too low. You got to keep that even keel, and you just got to keep getting better every day and know who you are and believe in that.
Coach, losing Hennen to the dislocated shoulder, how do you feel Anael stepped up in her shoes? Obviously, she got Hennen played a little bit against Lemoyne, but she didn't start. Dutat started. How do you feel about 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 assists, a steal, stepping into Tennen's such big shoes to fill?
Well, AD started regardless at St. John's. She earned the starting role. So Mayé actually went back to the 5. Tennen was the 5, Mayé the 4. It's actually a better rotation for us that we can bring Tennen off the bench. Better substitution patterns where Mayé can now move to the 4 or the 5. I think AD though, when she's at the 4, she gives us something that, you know, is a specialty, is rebounding. When you look at 5 and 5, when she comes up with a game-winning defensive rebound, it's what AD does. And again, with a team that their post can pop and shoot, and it's not a game that Tennen really is suited for. You'll see this a lot with Richmond that play 5 out. St. Joe's can play 5 out. There's a lot of teams that their bigs play like guards, and so AD's just that versatile 4 player for us. And Sophie Sen now has the backup 5 spot until Tennen comes back. So I thought Soph gave us solid minutes, but AD at the 4 spot. AD had won the 4 spot last year. She primarily finished every game for us at the 4 with Emma. So it was Emma and AD. So I have the utmost confidence in AD defensively at the end of games and to secure rebounds. I thought she was huge tonight for us. Very, very big.
Coach, early on in the year, 3-point shooting wasn't always there, but this is 2 straight games where that element of your team's game seems to be back. Does that bring you any comfort going into conference play?
Well, it's funny because when I recruited the kids, listen, we watch a lot of film, we see their numbers, they're 30% 3-point shooters. And again, they were in their heads. They wouldn't even look at it anymore after that Maine game. They would not even look at it. And listen, Maine's a tough place to play. Harvard lost at Maine. It's a tough place to play. And so after that, even in practice, they wouldn't shoot threes. We'd be doing a drill, and I'm like, why are you all taking mid-range shots? Shoot the three. And it's like, well, I went over. I shot 0%. And then they had another bad shooting night. So, you know, one thing we have done in practice a lot more of is a lot of shooting drills. A lot of shooting drills. A lot of our warm-up stuff is all three-point shooting, and we let it fly. Because we're a good offensive rebounding team, shooting a wide-open three, that's a 6 or 7 on our scale, and you get the rebound. But when you turn that over, when you're forcing it, and we're trying to get it in the post, they're triple team because we won't shoot the three. Again, you watch it, it's all mucked up. It looked awful. Now that our kids feel confident, you see Tisha raising right up, they got to respect that. We shot 60% today. We only took 10, granted, but we shot 60%. And now you have Tisha hitting some, Sophie P hitting them, Dee Dee hitting them. You got to respect that. It will open things up for our bigs, for Mayé and Tennant. It will open it up. So I'm really confident. I feel really good going into conference play that our kids feel confident. It's not me. It's them. They got to feel confident. I tell them all the time, take it, shoot it. I'll take them out if they don't, but I think they have their confidence. They have their swagger with the three.
There are pieces of these last two games that you can carry forward, aren't there? Whether it's the shooting against Lemoyne or the defensive effort in the first half tonight, you can see pieces of the team that was picked to win the A10, can't you?
I do. They're like you said, pieces and glimpses. We haven't put it all together. And again, for whatever reason, last year's team, you know, they came together a little bit quicker. And a couple of them won championships. So they knew what it took. They knew what winning felt like. They knew what it took to win. Some of the kids that we have yet, you know, our culture here, it took a while to embrace it. It took a while, like, God, this is intense. This is, you know, practice is hard. Yeah, that's what champions do every day. It's a grind. Every day, waking up at 6 a.m., strength and conditioning, you know, going hard, competing, communicating, all the little things that win you championships, some of the kids weren't used to. They weren't. And it takes a while. So we still haven't put it all together where we've put a game together against a high-level competition where I can say, that will win you a championship. We haven't done it yet. But there has been glimpses and there have been pieces. I know they can do it. Just like I knew when we recruited them, what we recruited here. I didn't believe what we were. We weren't, you know, what were we, 8-5, 7-5 team? In my mind, we weren't that. That's our record. But I know what we're capable of doing, and I believe in them. And they know that. So yes, there are glimpses. We got to put it all together consistently with discipline.
Any final questions?